One question, two answers, three takeaways. This is The Process with Brad Borland and Mike McKinnis. All right, today's question is volume versus intensity. And I wanted to start this one out a little bit differently because my co-host here, Mike, has a pretty good experience with this. And I wanted to pick his brain on a few of these issues. When we talk about volume versus intensity, of course, we're talking about more like volume training, like high number of sets, lots of sets, lots of reps, that kind of thing. And versus more of the intensity side of training. So think of like heavy duty training, small number of sets, um, higher with the small amount of volume, of course, you're automatically going to get a higher level of intensity. So, but I wanted to pick your brain, Mike, on your journey, your story, because something happened to you recently that you had to kind of reconsider a lot of these things and out of necessity,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
that's a good way to
And
put it.
but I'll let you fill in the blanks. I wanted to first kind of maybe just give us a little summary of like sort of your elevator pitch of old way of training, kind of how you got into it. Were you a high volume guy, that kind of thing, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you and I both grew up idolizing Arnold, okay? And so naturally, when we were first starting out, we read all his books, and he was a high volume trainer, meaning you do a lot of sets, a lot of reps for every body part. So that's the way I started, and I did that for the majority of my, life. And I had back surgery in this past March. And while I was recovering, I couldn't work out for a while. So I was just fascinated with just reading about different things, fitness wise. And I came across some books by Mike Mentzer, who's like the godfather of the heavy duty training. And once I started reading his information, I was just immersed in it. And after coming off of back surgery, I was trying to think of ways that I could, prolong my lifting life because I want to do this till I'm 100 years old if I make it that long. And so I decided, I'm going to go ahead and try his philosophy and see if it works. And basically, what you do, you get you a couple warm ups, and then you just do one working set per exercise. And what that means is you just do one all out set till failure. And that's it. Then you move on to the next thing. And my mind had a hard time wrapping itself around that
Mhm.
because I've always been, minimum 20, 25 sets,
Mhm.
in a workout.
So real quick though, what kind of back surgery? What was going on with your back?
I have severe sciatic nerve issues, and I have a bulging disc. Actually, the disc between uh, L5 and S1 is gone. I'm bone on bone, and the disc above is bulging. And I had a cyst that was growing uh, on the opposite side of the L5 nerve, which runs down your leg. So the bulging disc and the cyst were pinching, and as that cyst grew, it pinched harder and harder. So the pain was absolutely excruciating. So they went in and removed the cyst, which relieved a lot of that pain. I've been so much better since then. Uh,
So with the lower volume sort of heavy duty training, um, I kind of hesitate to say heavy duty because you weren't really going like, 4 to 6 reps or anything in the gym, but um, for the lower volume, high intensity, was that something in your mind initially at least that you kind of had to do to get back in the gym to start over a little bit, or
Once they gave me the release where I could start working out again, I went. I knew I needed to take baby steps. Okay, so I've always been a four sets of 12 guy in everything. Minimum. Sometimes I do higher reps, but yeah, this method, at least in my mind, I thought, hey, it's going to allow me to just take the baby steps to build myself back up, and, for higher quality workouts.
yeah. So how What was your very first impression of doing a workout like that? Coming from being a high volume trainer to this, and then, your very first initial impression of it, and then how does that differ now that you've had a couple of months under your belt or so? Has that impression differed today?
Yeah, at first, like I said, it took me a minute to really wrap my head around the fact that I
Hmm.
was not going to do 4 sets of 12 with
Hmm.
every exercise, and I was not going to do, 3 to 4 exercises per body part like I was before. Um, but man, I'm telling you, I had several weeks to read on it, so I was prepared for the workout. But I'm telling you, those first couple sessions, they were extremely hard. And
Yeah.
so that was March. I've been doing this for 4 months now, and every workout is just so taxing. It's my average workout's only 22 minutes long, but I'm telling you, it's 22 minutes of torture.
Yeah. Yeah, and remind me too. I know we talked to offline about it some. What's your like rep range? Because like I said, I hesitate to call it heavy duty because people's when they hear the word heavy, they think of heavy weights, low reps, powerlifting, weightlifting style stuff. But what's your rep range like?
Well, here's the thing. I've always in my younger, I used to love to lift heavy, but I was never a power lifter. I never did like the, you know, 1, 2, and 3 rep
Hmm.
sets. It was never my thing. With this type of training, I get anywhere between, I would say, 6 to 12 reps
Mm.
per exercise, depending where I am in the workout. Like if it's early, I'll get 10 to 12. If it's the last exercise I'm doing, I'm struggling to get six.
Mm.
Um, but the key to this too, it's not just the one all out set. It's the cadence. Okay, like because when you do a rep of something, you have three different aspects of the rep. You have the positive, which is like on your way up, so you're curling. You have the static at the top when you kind of hold it, and then you have the negative. Well, Mentzer said, and a lot of studies since then have shown that you get more benefit from the static and the negative rather than the positive. So, you're doing like 3 to 4 seconds up, pause for a second or two, and 3 to 4 seconds down. So, when I
But
say
like 3 to 4 real seconds, right?
yeah, this is not
Not
like
like one, two, three.
no, no, no. And also too, I think it's really important for people to understand about the high intensity training. You use no momentum at all. So let's say you're doing a curl, you come all the way up 3 to 4 seconds, pause for a second or two, and then all the way down 3 to 4 seconds. But then when you get to the bottom, which you can look around the gym and you see people that get that kick and swing it up. It's
Hmm.
not like that. There is absolutely no momentum involved.
So your sets or that one set is really like a chapter book. It's
Absolutely. And that's one of the big misconceptions. Like if I wrote my workout down on a piece of paper and I gave it to somebody and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing today. Are you interested in this?" They'd be like, "No, it's not enough. Like it's nowhere near enough." But when you factor in that the cadence I was just explaining, flexing that muscle, I'm telling you, one set will wear you out.
Mhm.
I mean, it's tough.
So how has your progress been? I know you're kind of past the initial stage of, recovering from surgery and getting back into it and stuff like that, but you've had a little time to kind of like settle into it and get, a consistent schedule. What's your impressions of your progress?
I'm thrilled. Just to kind of put it in perspective, before my surgery, I was weighing 244. And, surgery it takes a lot out of you. And
Mm.
I dropped probably 15, maybe 18 pounds before it was all said and done. And so I was weighing, whatever, 226-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. But it was not a good 226. Like I
Mm.
was drawn up. My body went through a lot in that surgery, which it tends to do. So when I started back with this training, I granted muscle memory played into this a lot, but I shot right back up to my weight, but then kept going. Like right now, I weigh about 255, 256. and my body fat percentage has not changed. Like I'm
Hmm.
still the same level of body fat, just I put on more muscle.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
And what are you like 6'1", 6'2",
just a shade under 6'3".
6'3"? Okay. Um, yeah, for the, I know people are listening. Mike is built like a tank. So I call him a tank with eyes. So I'm curious, um, has have you worked out, have you taken on anybody to work out with you that is sort of your quote unquote traditional trainer, moderate to high volume, et cetera, et cetera? Have you taken on anybody recently? Have any stories to share? And what do you think their impression was?
Well, the funny thing is, there's a couple of trainers that work out at my gym, and I'm good friends with both of them. And they would see me come in and do my 22 minutes and leave, and they would always say, "There's no way you could be finished." Well, anyway, a couple weeks went by, and then one of the trainers was like, "I want to jump in with you one day." I was like, "Okay." So, I told him what time I was coming the next day. The first day we did chest and tries together,
Hmm.
and again 22 minutes, and I think he genuinely thought it was going to be a piece of cake. I mean, look, he's half my age too. Okay. I mean, he's like 25 years old, 26 years old, but after that workout, he was like, wow. He's like, that was really, really hard. And I said, well, look, I'm doing back and buys tomorrow if you want to join in. And so he jumped in on that one, and he hadn't jumped in since. Look, and I'm not knocking. He's in great shape, but I'm just saying these workouts are very difficult. But for me, it's perfect because 22 minutes I can get in there, go all out, and get out of the gym and try to preserve my body. Because I've abused my body a lot over the years.
Well, if maybe in the near future we can post your workout on the website and maybe people can take a look at it and they might think it's pretty easy uh, at first glance, but maybe not. So,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I say, I could tell the listeners my entire routine on any of the days, and I guarantee you 99% of them would go, "There's no way that's going to work. No
mhm.
way. It's not enough. We need more sets, more reps, more exercises." I'm telling you, from somebody who's been doing this for over 34 years, these are the hardest, most intense workouts that I've ever done, but I absolutely love it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's been an incredible experience. And, like I say, nobody wants to go through back surgery or any kind of surgery.
right,
But if one good thing came of it, it gave me time to study and
right.
read, and learn new things. And it's helped me.
Excellent. Yeah. So, what in your top of your head, what are sort of three takeaways people can kind of come away from this conversation about your sort of new style of training?
I think the number one thing is just keep an open mind. Okay. And I'm saying that to myself too when I was first starting because I was in the same mindset. There's no way that'll work. But if you have an open mind and give it a shot, you'll see. Um, the second thing that I think is really, really important in this type of training, it's when we say go to failure, it is a true failure. And failure is not when, oh, you get to, I've done a few, wow, that's getting hard. Okay, I'm done. No, you go until you cannot move the weight anymore. So when you think you're done, you've probably got 2 to 2.5 reps left in you. That's the key. You've got to push yourself through that. And really, the last thing that take away from this to me is if you try this, give it 2 or 3 weeks. Don't just do one workout or two workouts and say, yeah, it's okay. Give it 2 or 3 weeks to really get a feel and see if it's for you. I did it, and I don't know that I'll go back to volume. I mean, I love it that much.
Well, that is awesome. I'm so glad you shared that. And that's all for today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and we are out.